CBS 4 News in high definition.
Good evening, I'm Karen Lee.
I'm Jim Benneman. Critics say Gessler's plan to moonlight raises serious conflicts of interest. The Republican Gessler was sworn in just last week as Colorado's new Secretary of State. Before that, he was a partner at a prominent law firm specializing in election law. Now Gessler says he plans to start doing contract work for the firm. Our news partners at the Denver Business Journal broke this story today in their edition of the paper. CBS 4's political specialist Sean Boyd talked to Gessler and his critics on this. And Sean, is he saying why he'll be moonlighting?
Jim, it's about money. He says he's got a family to support, and the Secretary of State doesn't pay enough. Colorado, in fact, is the third lowest paying in the country. Gessler insists he's not breaking new ground. He points to state legislators here who also work in the private sector. But critics say they've never heard of the state's election chief working on the side for an election law firm.
The duties of the office of Secretary of State.
When Scott Gessler took office as Secretary of State this month, he took a pay cut, a big pay cut, so big he now says he's taking a second job.
And the truth is, it's an economic necessity.
Gessler says his state salary, $68,500, is nearly half what he made as an attorney. So he plans to make up some of the loss consulting for his former law firm, which specializes in election law, an area he now oversees. You're not handling any more election law cases?
Not at all.
What sort of cases will you handle?
They would, I anticipate, what they would be is maybe a property dispute case, for example, or a contract dispute case.
Gessler says it's no different than a state lawmaker who works in the private sector. Luis Toro with Colorado Ethics Watch, a left-leaning organization, disagrees.
Scott Gessler, the chief regulator for elections, is going to be working for an election law firm. I mean, that's pretty different from any of those other situations.
Gessler says Colorado Ethics Watch is simply singling him out because he's litigated cases against them.
I think a lot of, on their part, they're doing it for political gain and for personal animosity.
Gessler thinks you're picking on him because you're a left-leaning organization.
Well, that's a distraction, and I think that a lot of people are concerned about this. And you don't.
Toro stopped short of saying they would file a formal complaint. Gessler says he's comfortable. He's ethically and legally on solid ground.
I'm being absolutely transparent.
But you got to wonder why he didn't divulge this while campaigning. I asked him, and he says he did, to anyone who asked. I also spoke today to the Independent Ethics Commission here at the Capitol. They would handle any complaint filed, and at this point, they are not confirming whether or not they have in fact received a complaint. Jim?
So, Sean, who will make sure there is no conflict in these specific cases he'll be handling?
Gessler told me he plans to consult on every single case with the Attorney General to make sure there isn't any conflict. And he says his side job is really only going to take about 20 hours a week, work that he can do only on the weekends.
All right. Sean Boyd, thank you, Sean.